Hi, I thought I'd start a vlog about electric cars and the best value used ones out there and sort of what's happening in the market. I do have another channel called Chargeheads, check it out, EV conversions, modified EVs, got a few projects, check it out. I work as a used car buyer for a VAG dealer group, but I also buy lots of other different brands, pretty much anything that's going to be, desirable and saleable, essentially. Today I'm looking at Hyundai Ioniqs. Now, in my opinion, it's probably one of the best value electric cars out there. So what we're talking here is, it's a very similar look to a Toyota Prius if you've not seen one. I'll put a picture up now. And so basically the Hyundai Ioniq started around 2017, and then they facelifted it in about late 2019 on a 69 plate and newer. They've just stopped selling them new, and with all the issues around availability of new cars, especially with dealers, the brands that I work with, it's becoming increasingly difficult to find a good value electric car. And if you've got less than 30k, there aren't many options. And I mean, it's a minefield in terms of knowing what range and what's kind of going to be the best value for money. That's what it's all about for me, getting value for money. And I see this car as being a great option. So I buy quite a lot of e-Golfs. Now, as a comparison to the Hyundai Ioniq, if you've got a preference for sort of good quality, VAG brands, the e-Golf, when it was facelifted, which was about 2017, to the Mark 7.5, that particular car went from 2017 to about about a 70 plate, and then the ID3 took over. So the Golf E had real world 115 mile range, and that depends on weather, because in the warmer weather they're more efficient than in the cold weather, and depending on what you use in the car in terms of heating and all the electrics, etc. But as a real world range that I use the EV database for, which is a website which has got all great information on, and it's realistic, which is what it's all about. So that's 115 mile range on an e-Golf. And you're going to be paying from a VW dealer around about anything from sort of 20 to 25,000 pounds for a sort of 19 plate and up, with less than sort of 40,000 miles. Now remember, on electric cars, you don't have to worry about the mileage quite as much as a petrol diesel car, because the motors tend to be a lot more reliable, because it's only one moving part. And that's why I bought a higher mileage Tesla Model 3, which I'll talk about in another episode. So that's the Golf E as a comparison. The Hyundai Ioniq has got 155 mile range, and it is actually more efficient. You normally work it out in miles per kilowatt, so anything sort of 3 miles per kilowatt and up is actually quite good. And from all the experience and reports I've heard, the Hyundai is exceptionally efficient. So they facelifted the Ioniq in late 2019, as I mentioned, and it got a better regenerative braking. Basically, as you take your foot off the accelerator, the car uses the motor to brake, which generates electricity back into the battery, so it makes it even more efficient. So there was an update when they facelifted it, 69 plate and onwards, to make the car a lot more efficient. Also the battery, they changed the battery from 28 kilowatts to 38, so the range went up. They also have a smartphone app, which is very useful in an electric car in terms of preheating it. So you get up during the winter, you want it defrosted, you want it ready to go while it's plugged in, so you don't reduce your range. Press it on your smart app and away you go. And also you can tell what the range is, things like that. The Tesla, again, tends to be the best in the market for that, and I must admit, really enjoying the one that I've got in that regard. So yeah, in terms of the charger as well, on the Ioniq you get a 50 kilowatt charger, which I did read on the EV database. It will charge the car from 0 to 80 in 50 minutes. Now, I wouldn't expect many people to be doing big mileages in cars like this. But if people want to join the electric revolution, whether it's environmentally or whether that's to do with, you know, trying to be a bit greener and saving some money, because quite a lot of the time you can save money with an electric car. I'm not going to go into the savings and solar panels and stuff like that. I might touch on it at one point, but let's just concentrate on what is value in the used car market. So I've had a little look, and the cheapest Ioniq you can get out there on Auto Trader at the moment is £18,000, and that's a 68 plate, done 53,000 miles down in Weston-super-Mare. The next cheapest is 18,880. That's a 67 plate, done 27,000 miles. Which, you know, what do you go for? Something that's a year younger, with double the mileage, or I think the value there would be to go for the lower mileage one. But you should buy on condition as well. Remember, electric cars don't really need servicing. Yes, there will be servicing requirements that the manufacturer recommends, like brake fluid changes, and there may be coolant changes needed on the battery and the motor, because these newer electric cars are a lot better than, for example, your Nissan Leaf electric cars, where the range degrades very, very quickly. You know, these Nissan Leafs, they've been around since 2011, 2013, and the battery degradation on the early ones was pretty poor. I mean, these 100-mile electric cars are now sort of 20 to 30 miles, depending on how they were looked after, because there's so many things you can do to look after batteries, which I think I'll touch upon another time, because I think that's important. So yeah, I mean, up from there, then you're talking £20,000 for a 68 plate. Now remember, these are older cars, so these are the pre-facelift. Now I'm just about to go into the auction and look at some 71 plates. Now these 71 plates look like they would retail at a main dealer for around about £27,500. So these are 71 plates, so that's a 2021, done between 5 and 13,000 miles. So loads of warranty left on them, and the warranty on these cars are 5 years, or on the battery and motor it's 8 years, 100,000 miles, so plenty of warranty. You know, there's quite a big jump up from the £20,000 for the pre-facelift up to the 71 plate, up to the sort of £26,000. But if we just have a little look now to see what the cheapest facelift one is. So the cheapest facelift one that I can see on the Auto Trader at the moment is a 20 plate, and it's a premium, because they do a premium SE. From new, the premium SE was £3,000 more, and it had stuff like leather, rear heated seats, ventilated seats, and a few other bits. In my opinion, stick with the premium, because leather, not a massive fan personally, but you know, it's horses for courses in that regard. So yeah, 20 plate, 18,800 miles for 23,400. So is a 71 plate with half the mileage good value for another £4,000? Let's just have a look at this quick. So we're talking another £3,000, and we're getting, was it 20? So 70, one plate, 71, two plates, and half the mileage. So I normally say every plate is about £1,000. So what's that? So 23,4, 24,4, 25,4, half the mileage, 25,4. Yeah, I would say it's about there. So depending on whether you want, it's all down to your budget really. So and then the next one's a 70 plate at 12,000 miles. So there's not many facelift ones out there. So that might be one to look out for, trying to find the facelift, because it's clearly bigger battery, better tech, more efficient, and yeah, I would say that would be the one to go for. But you know, if you can't afford it, it needs to be under 20k. I would act quickly, because these cars are only going to go up in money. So yeah, I'm just going to hit the auction now and see if I can buy some of these 71 plates, because there's a plethora of them in the auction. Be interesting to see what the prices are.